Warranty Wire.
Customer trust.
AI.
Every day in the warranty world.
Welcome everybody to the Warranty Wire, the place for real talk about warranty in the age of automation, AI, and elevated expectations. So I am joined today, as usual, by Becca Hogan-Miller and Mark Drager. And today's episode is very much in keeping with the season. So for 1 week only, welcome to the Warranty Wonderland, everybody. So this week, we're going to put a bit of a spin, a bit of a fun, festive spin on warranty and maybe kind of delve back into our childhoods a little bit. So everybody welcome and come join us.
Hey, awesome. Becca, what is your holiday tradition?
When I think about my childhood, one of my favorite traditions that we did is at my house, Santa would hide all of the presents. So it kind of combined like an Easter egg vibe. So in the morning, you had to search throughout the house and find your hidden presents, which as a parent is just absolutely genius because it buys you like 30 minutes of sleeping or you have to get out of bed. So that is a tradition that stands out to me and that I'm excited to carry through with my kids too. What about you, Matt?
So my big one is, you guys know the Grinch, the original Grinch, the Jim Carrey film. I have to watch that every year, Christmas Eve, no matter what is going on. So it came out when I was like 9, 10 maybe. And I remember going to the cinema to watch it with my mum. And like, that's been my tradition every single year without fail. Even to the point 1 year I had moved house, didn't have a TV or anything. And I just like literally watched it on a tablet Christmas Eve because nothing was set up, but couldn't break the tradition.
Fun.
Come on, Mark, what about yours?
Yeah, I don't know if we necessarily had any like long-standing traditions. I could just remember when I was a little kid, I couldn't sleep the night of Christmas Eve, right? I was just bouncing off the walls. And when we were younger, all three of us, I got an older brother and an older sister. The three, siblings would share the same bed, and we'd wake up in the morning, probably like about 4 o'clock, right? And I'd get everybody up, and just my dad was just so upset. But it was the whole thing because I'm sure he was up all night, putting together various toys or everything like that, and, probably having a adult beverage or something, and so a couple hours later, some dude's knocking on his head, wake up, it's time. I think I hear Santa downstairs. So that's kind of what I remember the most. That was awesome.
Cool.
I also think about and I hate to say like worst presents because I don't think there's necessarily a worst, present unless there really was, like me, I got lumps of coal, literally lumps of coal as a gag gift. Oh yeah. It's a gag gift. I was a hellion growing up. So, that was something the parents always threw in the stocking, but, yeah, does that, yeah, right. Does that, that probably fits. And no one's shocked. Like the best. What's Matt? What's your best that you remember growing up?
So my best was probably, and I was never like the kid that was into the the latest trends and stuff like that. But I do remember when Toy Story, the original Toy Story, came out, I was like desperate for a Buzz Lightyear. So it was the first time in the UK we'd had literally like crowds of people queued up outside the stores waiting for them to come in. It was like unheard of in the UK. But I remember like I just 1 year, all I wanted was a Buzz Lightyear. And I got one. And oh my God, I God knows how many batteries I got through with that thing because it was like I just played with it so much.
That's awesome. You still have it, don't you?
Oh, somewhere. Oh, absolutely. I mean,
yeah, no doubt.
It's definitely not, like behind me somewhere.
Yet. How about you, Becca?
I'm big on like experiences. So a few years ago, my mom gifted us, the whole family, a trip to the beach. So that is definitely a top of my list, favorite gift. Very memorable for sure.
Nice.
What about you?
I remember gosh, I don't know, maybe I was 7 years old. Um, Two gifts that we got. Now, one of them I shared with my brother and sister, and that was a ping pong table. That was awesome, right? It just played ping pong all the time. Um, but the one that I know they regret to this day was a drum set. Oh my God, did I kill that thing? I
What?
mean, oh, it was already set up, from the night before, and I just go in, and it's like, 6 in the morning, and I'm going to town, and I just to this day the parents are like, you know, they're still upset that they got that for me,
Yeah, those
but
are some brave parents buying a drum set. Jeez.
it was awesome though.
Yeah.
Still can't play, but hey, I tried.
So come on, then. You've talked, Mark. You've already let us know what your worst present is. I'm assuming it's the coal.
Oh yeah, that was yeah. It was funny. It was funny. I didn't. Yeah, I didn't. It didn't. It didn't phase me with that. That was a constant thing, and who knew that like a packaged up piece of coal was legit? There's a market for it, apparently.
Becca, do you have one?
Oh, I feel like people always gift me wine, and I hate wine. So that's probably my worst gift I've gotten. What about you?
Pass it on. So mine, it's the worst, but it's also kind of the sweetest as well. So my grandma, when she used to buy presents when she was kind of getting older, she would just buy like anything while she was actually just grab it, and then she'd just wrap them all up. But then when it came to Christmas time, she didn't know what was wrapped, who, like no tags, nothing. So I remember one year I got this like pink. It was like a pinafore that you use for like baking and stuff like that. That she bought for someone in the family, and obviously just thought it was a T-shirt or something like that. And I just opened it. Christmas like, oh, thanks, Grandma. You're trying to do that whole, yeah, just what I was always wanted. And yeah, so it was kind of, it was the worst, but also it was just, yeah, it was quite sweet.
You still have that one?
Yeah, yeah, you have that.
I think that one may have kind of made its way out of the house over the years, I think.
Walnut. It reminds me of my grandma also gives kind of off the wall gifts. And one year she got me a belt made out of soda tabs.
That's kind of cool.
Wow.
Is it?
I mean, I'm wearing a street plan, a Christmas jumper, so.
Yikes.
So
That's good.
I guess we've talked a little bit about on a personal level. I guess we should maybe try and put a bit of a warranty spin on this festive edition. So I've come up with a little bit of an idea about the ghost of warranty, past, present, and future. So we've talked a lot about in previous podcasts about how the warranty industry has been very slow to adopt and move. So I thought let's try and put a festive spin on this. So what I kind of want you to do is maybe think a little bit about the different aspects of warranty. So whether it's selling, managing, or anything else, and think about, say, where the industry was 30 years ago, where we are today, and then where you think we'll be in, say, 10 years' time, if that makes sense. So kind of put a little bit of a festive spin on it. So Mark, do you want to kick us off?
Ooh. Let's see here. Off the top of my head, I have one that is most recent. So I just purchased a new truck, and I would say the past, and this was always just so painful, is like you're going through and you're signing all this paper documents, right? And you're getting a loan or whatever, and like 30 minutes, 45 minutes after you decide, hey, I'm going to purchase, you're sitting back in the F&I office, and this individual is sitting there just grilling you about adding all this stuff, right? And I just remember that just being so painful. Well, now present is they're still going through it. They're still recommending it. And, because I'm in the industry, I always love to hear their sales pitch and how they sell it. if they make off the wall, like, hey, everything's covered, et cetera. But now they're doing it like on an iPad. And so you're signing all your documents on an iPad. That's today. As far as the future, I think obviously it's going to be fully digital, right? So you're going to have everything that you can probably execute at home before you even go to pick up your new vehicle. And then, as far as the offers, probably it could, be a digital, whether it's text messaging or it's email, maybe 30 days, maybe 45 days after you get your vehicle, right? Because there's that, this huge purchase. And the last thing you want to do is spend any more money. But yet you do understand that, once things have settled down, you think about it. Now there's this, marketing aspect that's that you get everything, that you understand, you can do your due diligence, your research, see what pricing is, and then you're able to make that purchase and potentially tie that into your loan as well after that certain, before a certain amount of time, whether it's 30 days, 60 days after securing that loan. And then obviously now if you don't secure it, you do have that opportunity to purchase post-market. So that's what I'd say, the past, present, and future.
Good example. I'm going to assume, was it a Ram you bought? You seem like a Dodge Ram kind of guy.
I definitely am a Dodge Ram, and I got the new Rebel. So
how many Dodge Rams have you owned in your life?
This is my second.
Oh, okay.
And I just absolutely love the console and that 13-inch computer screen. So
nice.
I'll stick to that.
Nice. Becca, how about you?
Yeah, in a similar fashion, I think about the digital approach and how the transparency piece of customers, how they receive the documents and educate about what kind of protection they're going to buy. So the past being there's paper copies, there's manual signatures, go home and put it in your filing cabinet. I hope you remember what you bought and where to find it later. The present, it has become more digital. So you can fill this out digitally. You may get an email with a copy of your coverage. So then when I think about the warranty future and what's going to happen as we embrace AI and more technology, you see it in your customer experiences every day. There's algorithms that are feeding you content that's specific to your needs, wants, interests. The same applies to warranty. So being able to present customers with a smart offering based on their ownership life cycle, how much they drive, what they're interested in, are they sporty, are they a soccer mom? The way that marketing can evolve is going to continue to get more and more streamlined and dynamic, and it's going to feed you a very unique offering to a consumer. So as an administrator, you're only as good as the tools that you have and the access to technology that you have access to. So there are solutions out there. We'll talk a bit more about what those are for our clients and partners, but being able to streamline your processes, utilize the data that's out there to create smart offerings for customers, and then a more intuitive ownership. So now as a contract holder, you're not going to have to go through your filing cabinet, look up the claims number, call it in, give them all of your information. All that data already exists. So having tools to be able to leverage that, pull that data and push it where it needs to go is going to streamline the customer experience and streamline an administrator's experience. So tools that can do that are coming soon. We're excited to talk about those a little bit later, but just think about how you can streamline your business processes, not have to wait for a development life cycle, and then also be able to consolidate a lot of those systems that exist today where you're not having to import data manually into one system, export it into a spreadsheet for another team. It can all be consolidated and it's ready here today. So when I think about future of warranty, that's where we're going, and it's closer than you think. Matt, what do you think when you think about past, present, future of warranty?
Yeah. I think my example is probably kind of similar to yours, Becca, but more when it comes to kind of the assets themselves. So if you think about in the past, the old school warranties were, if it breaks, we'll fix it, or the whole lifetime warranty, because assets back then, whether it be vehicles, appliances, they were easy and straightforward to replace and repair, because you have a spanner and a few basic tools, you can do that work. I think now the present is, and we're seeing this in particular with like electric vehicles, for example, is the more complex vehicles and the more complex consumer goods means there is more things to go wrong. So from a claims perspective, we're starting to see that kind of spike, because it's no longer a case of I can fix it myself. I have to go back to the OEM. I think in terms of what the future looks like, I actually don't think we're too far off this in terms of some of the vehicle manufacturers is actually self-diagnosing vehicles. So they take the guesswork out of claims, the guesswork out of inspections, because the vehicle is able to actually tell the OEM or the warranty provider, hey, this is what went wrong. This is when it went wrong. This is how the vehicle was being driven at the time. So it really does help to inform the risk appetite of a lot of these warranty providers, by just the asset itself being able to communicate and tell what's gone wrong.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. And it seems like all of ours are really trending in the same situation or same theme here, where as you embrace more technology, the smarter and better the experience can get. So a lot of exciting things ahead with warranty. Now the question is can administrators adapt it, embrace it, implement it? Because that is kind of always the question, the hurdle to jump over.
Yeah, no doubt.
So when we talk about Christmas time, the holiday period, it also kind of opens up a different season as a consumer and the type of breakdowns or claim periods that we may entail. So around the holidays, people are getting lots of gifts. They're traveling near and far to visit family, and that can typically lead to breakdowns in claims as well. So what kinds of things can administrators be prepared for during the holiday season to make things go as smooth as possible for consumers and for businesses? Mark, what do you think?
Well, I think I go back to kind of when I started out in this industry. A lot of the consumer electronics were purchased on Black Friday. Now it's moving towards not only Black Friday, but also Cyber Monday, as well as, Amazon days in the summer. And it's spread out. It's just not that one, where everybody woke up on Thanksgiving, got the paper, went through the ads to see, all the specials from all the retailers out there, and then actually planned their Black Friday morning to be out there like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, and get these deals. And so that's kind of spread out. But, ultimately you're purchasing these products and for gifts. So they actually sit for at least a month. And then, they're given at Christmas time, they're opened. You might have some issues, and so ultimately a lot of the retailers are, hey, don't come back to us with this, go to the manufacturer. And, the manufacturer might not have the same customer centric approach that retailers have. So, but at the end of the day, where do you remember getting that from? The retailer. So you kind of do hold that retailer accountable, right or wrong. So there is that. I think ultimately frustration kicks in when, a customer, 45 days later after that date of purchase opens it up and, and now they're having to try to track down and get some support. And then obviously manufacturers' warranties across the place, they're all different time lengths, and, might be a good idea if you're giving that gift to perhaps, purchase a protection plan along with that gift and hand them that as well. Because then if something does happen, you don't become that crappy gift giver in their mind, and you become somebody that is proactively thinking, hey, in case something does happen, we got you covered.
Nice. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And I think it makes a big difference for the gift giver too, to make that process as smooth as possible. Matt, what do you think?
Yeah, so for me, it's more when you start to think about not just the festive period, but everything leading up into, in terms of Thanksgiving. That's the propensity for a huge amount more breakdowns to occur on the road. So, there's a lot of statistics about people travel, 5 times longer between Thanksgiving and New Year, just through, visiting family, through, Christmas, work, the kind of the work Christmas do and things like that. So there is the massive propensity for vehicles to break down more because of the extra mileage. And I think this does present more of a prime opportunity for the sellers and for the administrators to be able to market to their consumers in a little bit more of a targeted fashion. So to be able to highlight the propensity for breakdowns during that period. So we all talk about, the power of timing when it comes to marketing. But actually, if you can, in the lead up to that period, so when you start to look at September, October time, actually, have you thought about warranty for your vehicle? Because you're going to be doing a huge amount more miles. What happens if your vehicle breaks down on Christmas Day or leading up to it and you're left without a vehicle over the holidays? So, it's not necessarily that sort of scare tactic, but it's making consumers aware that actually you're using your vehicle or your RV or whatever it might be a lot more over the period. So you may want to consider warranty.
That's awesome. I think, we look at, as we kind of, obviously we have Christmas time, and right after that you have the new year. And it's hard to believe that we're really, really close now to another year past us. And so when we look back, and reflect on 2025, I think ultimately it's just been an outstanding year for Axiom. Big year for a lot of product updates and new features. So kind of with that, let's shift to, our product and what we bring to the table for our many clients. What are the coolest, features and things that when you look back this year, you're like, wow, we did that. Becca, anything on your mind?
Oh, a big one. Yes. For years, we've been working on this huge concept shift and getting away from hard coding. Our system's always been very flexible, configurable, but this is next level. So we are releasing a brand new product named Journey. It's our workflow builder, and that gives business users the ability to configure processes and logic on how things should work in your system without having to go through a development life cycle. So this is a game changer for any warranty professional, is because it's taking that get in line mentality for a dev shop to be able to take the wheel yourself and be able to configure this product and processes how you want it to work. So for us, it's a huge accomplishment, something we've been working on for a long time, and so excited to get it out in the wild, put it to practice, and there'll be more coming on what exactly that entails and how it can work. But for me, that's been a huge accomplishment of 2025, and so excited to get this launched and out in the market.
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah, kudos. That's a big deal. And obviously more to come on that. And so that's exciting. Matt, how about you?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I am super excited about Journey. But also one of the things that we've launched this year is our kind of rate loader. So this gives us the ability to deal with very complex rate structures, which, a lot of administrators know when it comes to rates. When you're dealing with all of that in the kind of back end, you're talking about, thousands of rows of code, huge amount of development hours in being able to manage those rates. So we've developed the ability to just kind of upload a rate form using the UI within Iungo, and it's presented, a massive internal time saver for us, as you can imagine, but it allows us, when it comes to onboarding administrators, to be able to just deal with any complexity of rate structure. So for me, that was a really big one.
That's cool. I think for me, I'm going to go from a selfish standpoint in my dealings with our many clients. One of the cool things that we integrated and introduced into our Iungo system, our CRM, is all the email and the communications history. And so what this means is that, we're able to go back and, if something happened, like if the customer, they didn't pay on time, or, they got communication on, updating their credit card because the credit card that they had maybe expired, and they lost coverage, right? And so all of a sudden, weeks later, it's, hey, are you, why was this customer's canceled, contract canceled? They said they never got anything. And now we're able to go back and actually see the email communications, the multiple email communications. And so that's really been a game changer for me, as well as, legal, because you do have some opportunities that come across, and we're able to provide that much quicker. We don't have to open up a ticket or anything like that. We could just go in, we could see it and say, okay, on these dates, email was sent, email was received, email was read. And that we have that information, and that data is key for helping solve some of these customer escalations regarding payments and communication.
Thanks, guys. I mean, it's been, a super exciting, busy year for us, but for me, I don't know about you guys, but I've enjoyed kind of looking back and learning a little bit more about you guys from a personal standpoint as well. I hope everybody that's listening, not only to this podcast but to the previous ones as well, have enjoyed listening, and hopefully we've imparted some knowledge on all of you, through the various episodes of the Warranty Wire. So I guess all that's left to say is, for everybody that's listening and everybody that's yet to listen, we hope you have a wonderful festive period and new year. From everybody at Axiom Connected and from the Warranty Wire, we wish you all the best, and we'll see you again in 2026.
Warranty Wire.
Customer trust.
AI.
Every day in the warranty world.